The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Again, everything's wrong. Everything is wrong. Whoa. That's way wrong. Take that out of there.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Yeah.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Yeah, that's right.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
I really have. I don't know. Why make? If I make you laugh, that's what I don't know. Probably gonna repeat. Wait too long. Wait. Maybe they could shorten that little. I just don't want to do it anymore. Look, it shut off by itself. How about that? Good morning, folks. It's Monday, February 10th, 2025. You love Mondays? We got 6 inches of snow on Sunday morning, Saturday evening into Sunday morning. I don't love snow. I guess you had a football game yesterday. You watched it. A team won. It wasn't the one with, I don't know, the billionaire cheerleader, right? And that's the news. Okay, I did miss the news because I was late getting here because I'm not a well person. Our guest today was scheduled once before and didn't show up because he had some emergency dealing with his little cancer problem. And then last night, I got about midnight somewhere, I found out he was not going to be on today because he's got some issues with a little cancer problem. I mean, who lets a little thing like cancer slow them down? Andy did the show from the hospital, getting his pancreas operated on, the Whipple procedure, which is a very tough procedure, by the way, and not one. He did the show from there. The cancer. I'm sorry. I'm making light of I'm making light because I'm scared to death that I have penis cancer or penis ass cancer or penis and ass cancer at the same time. Or maybe I don't know. I am cancer. It's just so I'm scared. So I'm making fun. It's a terrible thing. He will be rescheduled. I'm sorry. None of us will be rescheduled, to be honest with you. Let's get real about this. I haven't slept. I shouldn't be rescheduled. But I did miss the news. So I'm going to play the news. Then I'm going to play you some stupid spot where you're not going to patronize. And I feel like, fuck these people. They ain't buying this shit anyway. Buy the shit. You fucking people. Just buy the shit. I'm sorry. Let's listen to the news.
This is News in 60 with Alan Edwards.
Hamas militants have released 3 Israeli hostages in frail condition, while Israel has freed nearly 200 Palestinian prisoners as part of a Gaza ceasefire agreement. The hostages' severe malnutrition has sparked outrage in Israel, increasing pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu regarding the ceasefire's future. Lebanon has formed its first full-fledged government since 2022, ending a prolonged political deadlock. Prime Minister Nawaf Salam announced the new administration aiming to restore confidence domestically and internationally. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed a new offensive in Russia's Kursk region, reporting significant enemy casualties. He also noted the presence of North Korean troops fighting alongside Russian forces. A small commuter plane that crashed in Alaska was found and has resulted in the deaths of 10 individuals. Kyle Norris reports.
The wreckage was located approximately 30 miles southeast of Nome after an extensive search involving multiple agencies.
Wow. So Prime Minister of York was arrested in Rockling with the Yorker. Nobody knows where these fucking places are. Oh, who these people are? Just commercial.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
No. Look, we'll probably have a bad background. Look at me, bad background. Just terrible. We're off to a rotten start already. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now are Stephen, I bet everything on the Eagles, Ortiz, Ron Kane. I bet Stephen on the Eagles, and then GD, who said I had no money to bet. Fenderson. I'm going to bed.
Okay.
All right.
Good morning, America. MyDogTV.com. If you bet on yesterday's Super Bowl and need financial assistance, join our cryptocurrency portfolio co-op. At the FCPC, we pool together small contributors and make them one big contributor, so that their money can be used to offset our losses on the Super Bowl. MindDogTV.com. Enjoy the suffering and support your local mercenaries.
What would be your excuse? I didn't sleep like ever in my entire life, but what's your excuse?
For what?
With that. I'm sorry. I was confusing. It wasn't like listening to like CNBC or whatever, the financial news network.
You don't like sleeping to CNBC?
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't sleep either, man. I feel you.
I was just seeing bar graphs and stocks going up and down. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's talking about interest rates or something.
I don't know how you would rate the. I don't know how you would rate the interest in that opening, but I didn't put a lot of stock in it.
Well, it felt like CNN, or no, not CNN. No, what is it? Because it's CNBC, and then
CNBC is their.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Not MSNBC, CNBC, the financial bullshit.
Right.
And yeah, that's what it was. I'm sorry. I haven't slept. Did I mention I haven't slept? I'm not sleeping these days.
So were you both sleeping with Steven's wife, or no?
No,
Oh, okay.
Inside me.
All right. Did you guys watch football? Do you know about football?
I watched half of it. I went to bed after the halftime show because the Eagles were already blown out. So
already,
yeah, I only watched the first 24 points. I only watched
blown
the
out.
first
They were like, where'd they get their weed? Would they have the gummies? Who do you say they're blown out?
No, like the Eagles bet the Chiefs over and just raw dogged them till they had nothing left to stand on.
Have you ever? There have been Super Bowls that have flip flopped though, right? They were really one team was down significantly at halftime and came back.
I've seen it happen. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But those usually those other teams, okay, and I'll think about like the Patriots and the Falcons. The Patriots were in like deep doo doo, and my wife, who was a diehard Patriots fan, she was like ready to turn off the television set. And I said, "Don't worry." I said, "The Falcons are going to collapse because they don't believe they belong here." The difference is last night, the Eagles believed they belonged there. They weren't going to collapse. And when you got a good team that's far ahead, then you can let the defense just do whatever the fuck they want.
Right. I stopped following football right after the Marx Brothers released Horse Feathers.
Yeah.
So I don't. But I was thinking about the worst upsets and all this. But there was one team that came back from like a real lot of like 30 points at halftime or something. I forget. But I did the worst upsets. The Jets were were still considered the best, the worst upset of all time in football and a Super Bowl. And the Giants were the second one. Giants over New England. Did you guys bet?
Twice.
Yeah, but the first one was a bigger.
Yeah. The first one was
didn't make the top five. The second time they beat them didn't make the top five. To be honest with you, I was a little more surprised the second time because I figured, you know what, they're the Giants. They got lucky in 2007, 2008, whatever the hell that was. 2008, but it was for the 2007 series.
Yeah, I had some parlays, but they didn't hit last night. But yeah, the game was it was a bad game.
Kind of like your connection right there, Ron. I
can't.
Yeah, you sound like the Chiefs O line right now.
I thought he was doing Robert F. Kennedy Jr. To be honest with you, I was like, "Oh, that's back."
Kind of sounded like all
three. But Ron going back on the old hits. Yeah.
But if you see the script for last night, everything makes sense. So here we are.
All we heard was if you see the script from last night.
And the weird thing is your audio is like catching up and speed. It's like it's cutting out in the beginning, and then it catches up with all the words, but it speeds it up like twice as fast. So it's like this. It's like.
Christ, did a cow shit in here?
Yes, all over your Wi-Fi box.
Oh, look. Wow. All right.
I like I said, I went to bed after the halftime.
And but the question was, did you have money on it, real money? So because I would never go, no matter what the score is, if I got money on it, there's 3 seconds left and I'm down 90 points, I'm still staying. Could be a miracle. No.
It was over by half.
Yeah, it was over at halftime. Yeah, my wife had asked me a question about Vegas because before the game started, I told her, I said, according to Vegas, this is going to be a really good game. They only have like a 1.5 point spread, which means they don't know who's going to win, and they can't afford to, it's like basically a toss up. But anybody who bet I don't know. I was trying to explain to my wife how Vegas. She says, "How does Vegas get it right so often?" I said, "I don't know that. I don't know." I said they have a bunch of actuaries. Yeah, they have a bunch of actuaries who break down each player.
It sounds like you're insinuating that there might be some rigging going on, and we wouldn't want to see that. You insinuate that because you get killed. But
well, that's why Philly won last night. There's so much talk around rigging, so they had to win.
It's so funny listening to him talk right now. It's so funny.
You're doing that on purpose, aren't you, Ron?
I'm more confused by that than GD's opening salutation there with the interest rates. By the way, GD is the new nominee to head up the FDIC or the DICK or something.
Ooh.
So that will make me the HNIC of the FDIC?
Right.
Of the SUKDICK.
Do you think it was because Philadelphia was more hungry, like for Kansas City?
Oh,
like,
dude. If you would have, my wife even commented when they were showing close-ups of like Mahomes and all of them. Like after that first touchdown that Philadelphia got, they all shut down. You could see it in their faces. They were discouraged. My wife was like, "Why do they look so sad right now?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
they were
Like
just expecting to win, expecting it.
yeah,
to be
they were
easy.
expecting to blow it out, and they got scored on, and they gave up. Is what it seemed like. It was bad. Their defense is the only one that stayed on for a little while. They were good till about the end of the second or middle second quarter, and then they started.
That's where you need a butkus. Don't you need a little butkus?
A little Dick Butkus, yeah.
Yeah. Or you need some, you need a coach that, or somebody who would just, kick ass and say, listen, just because you've been here, you've done it, there's
Well,
people out there that what does New England have? 7 of them or something? What do they have?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think 7.
But
So
what's crazy is that the
weird.
coach of the Chiefs looks like your final evolutionary form.
Wow.
Wow, you think Andy Reid, who is like 20 years younger than Matt? No, I'm just teasing. You think Andy Reid looks like Matt in the future?
No. Like if
Could've
Matt
said
was a
Andy Rooney.
Pokemon, it would start out.
I got you.
It would start out as me, right, and then it would evolve into Matt, and then from Matt it would go to Andy Reid.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Final form, like Pokemon. Got it.
Yeah, final form.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right then. This is the show. We got no guest. Ron even couldn't handle it. He was like, "Fuck this." I sound so much like
I was tired of sounding like a robotic Speedy Gonzalez.
So let's talk tonight. Steven is gonna he's gonna try again. We're gonna try and launch this thing. It's like a SpaceX that we didn't put enough fuel in last time. But he's got some spirit medium Daniel. Daniel says, don't go easy on him. Don't be a pussy. He's not one of these lovey-dovey psychic mediums, spirit mediums. He's ready to be bold and cold and whatever
because
that
here's
means.
the thing: when I'm on this show, I try to be the co-host. I don't want to overstep and overdo it and all of that. But
you don't want to overstep. You just want to step.
Yeah, I would just be happy to step, right? But no, tonight I'm asking the hard questions. I'm not gonna settle for. Well, I'm not here to prove anything. No, you are. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Why do you care about the condition of his penis?
Well,
the hard question. The hard question.
Well, if he's using it for a divining rod to predict the future, we should know.
Well, this is the thing. I think he's done readings, and I got another one of somebody who definitely wants to do readings. Live reading. Generally, they shy away because back in the day we used to get them to do it on the radio, and so many of them failed so many at a time. And then I had ringers working for me who would call in, and then I'd say, "I'll take this one," and then get everything right. Like no matter what I said, it would be, "Oh my God, how could you put all that?" Because I paid you $20 before the show. Remember? That's why.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I would have.
Yeah. So it might even take phone calls, which would be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the whole shebang. I put a show outline in the drive, and it's
GD. I feel like there's a female energy on your right shoulder. There's the name Mary. Have you ever heard that name before? Mary or Marie or Margaret or Matty, the transmission guy, or
there's a message coming through. Slappity. It's your daddy.
Who was also your doctor. Slappity.
Oh my God, the funniest thing happened yesterday. My wife was inadvertently racist. She gave it. I was like, ooh, it smells like Aunt Jemima in here. She walked in, it was like slappity. And I was like, oh my God, where did you hear that? She goes, I don't know, but it's funny. And I'm like, I've been doing that too. Oh, it's funny. That's great.
Leave the racism to me. It's you're amateurs.
Your wife heard it from you, and you heard it from me.
My racism is so friendly. It's terrible.
Amateurs. Now I feel like I'm on a different planet on Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody's doing something, and I'm over here like, not doing that. Halftime show. Not good. Everybody said. Well, you know what? Not everybody said.
No, the
Here's my-
whiteys. The
Yeah.
white
Here's my-
were upset about it.
It was the old white guys that were clearly upset about the halftime show. But here's the thing. I enjoyed it. And if you know who Kendrick Lamar is, that was a damn good show. It was a really good show. And I love how he brought in Samuel L. Jackson to play Uncle Sam. I loved how he teased his big song like throughout the performance, and then until he got to it at the end. Serena Williams dancing, Drake's ex-girlfriend, that was cool. Like all of it was great. I thought it was awesome, and I really just wanted to see him do the fu to Drake, because he does Stolen Valor with wheelchair, so he deserves it.
So you enjoyed the halftime show? Most of the people I saw said no, and then the few that I saw said it was great. I was like, are they just being sarcastic here? I don't know what to make of this stuff. Well, it wasn't me.
I mean, the news outlets are pretty split and divided too, in really obvious directions. CNN was calling it one of the best halftime shows ever. Fox News said it lacked creativity and blah blah blah, which is just code for it was too black. So it really just depends on who you look at. But
do you know? Do we have numbers on ratings? How was it watched? Would people?
Oh, I don't know. I wonder.
I wonder.
I haven't seen anything about ratings yet.
Here's what I found out. If there's something you want to do, but you don't do it because you hate people, Super Bowl Sunday is a good day to do it. I went out to the store yesterday. It was just like, wow, there's nobody here. Wow, that's cool. There's no fucking people.
What time did you go out though? Did you go out during the Super Bowl or before?
No, more like 3, 4, somewhere in there. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. 3,
Oh, okay. Because my wife and I went grocery shopping Sunday morning, and the place was packed. And my wife
but I told everybody to go to Maryland. That's right. I did tell. I said,
my wife says, "Why is everybody here?" I said, "Well, they're probably picking up food." She goes, "Well, shouldn't they have done that yesterday?" I said, "Well, not if you got like catering stuff. If you have like sandwiches and stuff that you order from the deli, you want to wait as late as possible to get that so it'd be fresh, So if you got it catered, you want to wait." I said, "If you got frozen shit, yeah, you could have picked that up Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Wednesday."
Just 7. You could pick all whatever. Are you guys fans of the Eagles? I know, well, because you're kind of close to Philly, right? Philly's you're no.
I mean, of the two teams, they were who I was rooting for, mostly because I just really wanted to see.
I figured you for Indy, but GD's got a hometown team there. The Colts,
Ravens.
Oh, Ravens. That's right. What am I
makes
thinking?
sense.
You got the Colts. But Ron is a Philadelphia guy. No, we're closer to Philly than any other major team, major sports.
You're muted, Ronnie.
You're muted.
I said they're a hometown team, but they're not my team though.
Are they? Because what I remember, they were just like full of bragging. Like they're not humble at all. The city is not humble. Whether it was the Flyers, the Eagles, Phillies, they're always, when they win something, it's like a year full of like fucking Trumpism, like it's fucking taking a shit everywhere. Like we wanna.
New Orleans was so nervous about all the fans that they greased up all the light poles.
Oh, now Trump got booed or not? Because you can't trust Twitter. But according to Twitter, Trump was booed mercilessly. No,
I didn't catch the beginning, but from what I've understood, is both Trump and Swift were both booed mercilessly. So
wow, Taylor Swift was booed. Wow, that's not
bad. Yeah,
it's not like she's fucking.
I don't understand the hate for her. She's not an evil dictator. She's just dating one of the football players, and she's the biggest celebrity on the planet. But her being there shouldn't hurt anybody. And the thing is, I watched the entirety of the actual game itself. I think they only showed her once, maybe twice. And I don't think
they probably showed her once. They probably showed her reaction to the booing.
Well, they did. They showed that, and then they showed her once in the first quarter that I remember. But I don't think they were keen on showing her as the Chiefs were losing because it probably wasn't pretty.
I wonder how it would feel to get booed by that many people at once.
Oh,
GD
I
can
mean,
tell you. GD, how's it feel to get booed by that many people?
yeah, because he's never been in front of how many?
no, the most people I've ever performed in front of was 1,500.
I just meant
That's
over the
it.
course of your life, not like in one
Oh,
No, I said to be booed by that many people at once. That's what.
At once, yeah.
It's got to be devastating. She's got to, no matter how successful you are, no matter how many times you failed, whatever, to be booed by how many thousands of people? 50, 60?
I don't know. Because I don't know if that would affect me if I could just be like, okay, fuck you guys, and go fill 3 other football stadiums for concerts. You know what I'm saying?
Boo.
So I don't know how it would affect me. I would probably be like, oh no, let me dab my tears with these $100 bills. Like, you know, like,
Yeah, I think
because she can fill a stadium anywhere in the world with just saying, hey, I'm going to be here tomorrow, and they'll all be there. So
I'm gonna fill a stadium with people that'll boo me anytime I want.
Well, football fans need people to hate. It helps them out. But like the social media reaction to the halftime show is a good indicator how everyone's feeling, because the stodgy white guys are like, well, this is the worst halftime show ever than other people. And you have the typical people chiming in, like Ted Nugent, like, this is so bad. It's like, Ted, you haven't done anything in decades. Give up. You've spent your whole career coasting on those songs. Get over it.
Why couldn't we keep Chester Bennington and just give them Ted Nugent? Huh?
Ted Nugent, you know what? This is one of the great mysteries of all time. How Ted Nugent was ever successful. I mean, that's how hungry anybody with a guitar and long hair when he came along could have made it, because he never was any good. And yeah, I'm saying that you're a fucking Nugent head. Learn to fucking play guitar before you fucking tell me that guy's any good. There are literally 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds on Facebook every day that could run circles around him on every level. He's just a terrible guitar player, terrible songwriter, and he's not a good singer either. What's good about him? His fucking ego. That's what he's good at. Fucking ego.
Well, that's my understanding. If I remember back when he was popular, his strength was his self-marketing skill.
Yeah, but he thinks he's a good guitar player, or he acts like he thinks he's a good guitar player. He's just terrible. Terrible. I'd put Steven up against him any day. Go ahead, Steven.
When you look back at that point in music history, there's probably a good amount of people that shouldn't be. I mean, why is George Thorogood still around in some aspect?
Because he was bad to the bone. The bone.
Why is Seal still popular?
Who?
Seal. Oh,
I just don't get his relevancy. Like during the Super Bowl, he had a whole goddamn commercial where he was an actual seal, and I'm just like, why are you still here?
He's got 2 hit songs,
right?
He's got 2 hit songs. 2 hit songs.
So he's a 2-hit wonder.
They were really good songs. I mean,
but he also dated a supermodel for a while.
On that one,
he did date a supermodel for a very long time.
That's right.
They were married, weren't they?
I think that's when I discovered Seal. He was on Entertainment Tonight because he was dating that chick, and I was like, what happened to his face?
Yeah. There's people one person fucking chiming in. Oh, it's foul-mouthed. The foul-mouthed.
Yo, Bill. I saw your nipples on a Kill Tony, and I was excited.
Yeah, what is this? You like Kill Tony is like your bitch now. You're on there. You're like you own it. You knocked all the people off. It's your show. Is that the deal?
It was the HEB Center New Year's Eve show that they just uploaded to YouTube finally. And
has Willie been on there yet? Has Willie been on there yet? Kill Tony?
Willie? No.
You know, I kind of expected he would if you could just dedicate your life to just trying to get on there. I mean, eventually, right? You just keep doing it, you're gonna get called
There's some people that have got on there that have been signing up for 2 years before they get on. So
that's about how long Willie's been doing it or trying. But he doesn't go there every week. Right? He doesn't.
no, he
I thought
doesn't. I don't think he goes there often. And I just feel like they would tear him up. It'd be heartbreaking.
We're assuming that he hasn't gotten better or anything. I'm saying we. I shouldn't say we, but let's put it this way: he may have gotten better. So I haven't been following his comedy career. Has anybody here been following his comedy career? He may have gotten better.
Well, he still follows. We're still connected on Instagram, and the only thing I see him posting anymore is that stupid ass singing app.
Oh, that's brutal.
It's so bad.
I know it is. And it not only. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go there. But I'm just going to say to GD's remark there, in order to get better, and this is why I would go to betanysports.eu from Mind Dog link and bet that no, Willie is not getting any better and in order to get better, you have to really want to get better, and you have to realize that you're not as good as you want to be. You can't get better until you at least acknowledge that you need to get better. You want to get better. And if you think you're already as good as anybody who's ever done it, and you were blessed by the magical being that you're special, you don't.
But some people get literally. Some people get better by accident. I'm just saying it's not. They're not. It's not like they're trying to get better, but subconsciously they repeat their show. They do their show, and they get better either through repetition or they get better because
those people are doing the work.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're just like, they just subconsciously something triggers, like they get a laugh and they go like, oh, okay. And then they go in that direction. If they're not deliberately going in that direction, they start tweaking it subconsciously. It's like people when they change their behavior when they realize they're being observed. It's not often, it's not conscious all the time. It's subconscious sometimes.
But when you think you're the best already, even though you're not, you can't.
You don't even learn from those lessons. When things go right, you don't stop and acknowledge them and say, "Remember to do it that way," because it got to. You just think, "Well, I always say everybody loves me. I'm just great every time. Nobody was ever good as me." God chose. I'm sorry, but I gotta I'll get off of Willie just here. But more than once he told me the story about being in jail, and God and Satan were fighting over him, and God said, "Not this one. He's special."
Okay, we know that we know that there were two inmates named God and Satan, and they were fighting over him. Yeah. And we know that.
But
and they said, "Not this one. He's special." It's like, I want him in the card game, damn it.
And their names are really Satin and Jesus.
The point I'm making here is that to think that God would say, "It's okay, Satan. You can have any of those other inmates, not this one. He's special." To have that opinion of yourself, to believe that not just to believe in the creator and all this stuff, but to actually believe the creator made you the chosen one that Satan can't touch. He touched Jesus, right? He tempted Jesus. He went after Jesus. I mean,
yeah, you figure once the Son of God's taken down, you kind of have like everyone else's open game, right?
I don't know. To me, it's just the height of narcissism. You can't think any more of yourself than to think I'm the one God would spend. Out of 8 billion people, hey, God loves me more than anybody. Not this one. Not him. Hands off.
Except for when it comes to power chords. He did not choose him for power chords. He said, power chords be gone, and they disappeared.
Well, I think it was a Job moment. I think he was testing his faith. It's like, you can power that computer without the cord if you just believe in me.
I could use that laptop.
Mafia members, Jesus and Diablo.
Yeah. What did I have going on? I got something going on. I forgot what I got going on. I got to check my calendar. So, do you think I'm dying? You think I'm dying? You think this is the last shot
Well,
for
I
me?
mean, we're all dying. It
No,
just
I
depends
mean,
on the rate.
like this week. You think I'm dying this week?
No.
Nah.
I was a little
Dying?
concerned
Sure, but I don't think you'll be dead. I think
was
you're dying. I don't think you'll be dead by the end of the week.
I was a
Really?
little concerned this morning when you didn't show up. I told GD, I was like, I'm a little worried. Can you message him?
What would be the worst possible thing? You did a show without me, right? Oh, he's in
Well,
jail.
the worst possible thing is that I'd have to I
I'd be
don't know how to.
crushed if you
I'd have to
died,
make sure
you son of a
Instagram
bitch.
went out live.
Oh, you
Making
can't-
sure the Instagram went out.
You can't do that. Yeah, it has to be your account because you have to actually go to Instagram, do the create stuff, copy the key, come back, put it in the little StreamYard thing, and then after it's live, go back to your own Instagram channel and hit go live there. It's just a pain in the dick. This is
Coming for you! Can you at least
usually-
haunt on one of our computers and run this?
Oh. What is Falmouth saying? I can't read that. My
If
glasses.
you're talking about Conway, he couldn't handle the Texas heat and had to shorten his stay here. Maybe he can't be near the devil, not the other way around.
That's that makes it bad for me because I guess I have. Well, let's face it. If there were a heaven and hell, there's no way I would be destined for any place but hell anyway. So,
Hey, my tombstone was gonna say probably in hell because there's only a stairway to heaven.
but
So,
I definitely like it hot more than cold. I hate the fucking cold.
me too.
Why do people assuming that heaven is cold? Why
No,
not
it's not
temperate?
gonna be cool. It's just gonna be colder than hell.
Even I think it would be 72 degrees everywhere you go all the time.
I'm down for that.
But it'd be 72 for you, but 69 for me because I'm more comfortable at 69.
No.
See, you
you're
think
not
of
gonna be
69
there.
as comfortable, and I think of 69 as a dinner for two.
You're in the basement suite where I'm gonna be somewhere. I've seen your name carved on one of the doors. Well, you can call it a door.
Matt's hell is gonna be listening to Willie talk about how he's the chosen one for eternity.
Right. Yeah. That's it. So that's all you guys did on the weekend was Super Bowl, right? You didn't do
No,
anything?
I performed Friday night at
you did?
Buck Lake Bar and Grill, which was great. This
Were
guy
you
with a
on the
bunch-
stage? Wait, did you get up on the stage or did they fucking put you in front of the stage again?
There was no stage; it was all just floor. So,
Uh,
but it was a guy that just opened up a bar and grill, and he's ready to spend some money and pay comedians and put on a show. And he brought us out and fed everyone, gave everyone drinks, bought a PA system, and put on the first open mic there, and invited some of us back for the first paid show he's doing this summer.
Cool.
do you have to have a grill?
He does have a grill. Like I
Do
said,
you
it's a
have
bar.
to have a grill? Can you just buy a bar? I've never heard anybody but just bought a bar. No.
Well, I
it's-
think
Well, he tried to buy a bar and initially he tried to buy a bar and girl, but he got into trouble, so they just changed the
How much
sign.
for the women?
Yeah, they said,
But no,
"Oh, we can't get the girl, but we got the letters already." It's like, here,
How much
grill.
for the women? Your wife, the two little girls. How much?
But I will say though, he was an awesome dude. He's seriously just a comedy fan. He's not a comedian whatsoever. He's just a fan of it and loves it. And the show he's putting on this summer is supposed to be really cool. It's at a lake campground, and the performance area holds about 400 people. So
Wow.
and he said he can guarantee it'll be packed out. So
TD, you smell that? You know what that is? That smell? Money
My
laundering.
water.
Money laundering.
Okay.
Smell it?
listen, I don't care if it's clean or dirty money. I don't care if it's laundered or not. I just want some of it. So
Yeah. I just want to I want to have money to launder. That's what I want. And then I'll hook you up through the Mexican cartels. Why are the Mexican cartels so good at money laundering? They got money laundromats down there. Why?
well, because their machines take pesos instead of quarters, so it's cheaper to wash.
Oh, all right then.
And I know yesterday was my wife's and our annual February fight. We have this fight every February. In other words, we did our taxes.
On the 9th, it's February 9th. Is that the
Yeah, we did. Well, we do it every February was when we do our taxes, and every time we do our taxes, we fight, and it's not on purpose. It's just that I know that she wants to fight, and there's nothing I can do to avoid it.
Well, now, why is that? It's obviously the anger should be directed at Uncle Sam, not at each other. Why? What is?
But, I think she's just prepared. Sometimes she just wants to fight and argue, and I don't have any defense. I can't stop. I can't stop it.
You sure it's not you, and you're just projecting this? Because
no, believe me, I'm not. No, it's not me. As a matter of fact, I made the piece. She
before
got
you
mad at
were
me.
ever on the show the first time, Ron called me up and said, "I see you getting this guy. Just be careful with him. He likes to argue." That's what he said.
Did he stay with my wife? No, he did not say. No. See, liking to argue and liking to argue with my wife are not the same thing.
Okay, fine.
Because I cannot
Feels
win an
like you're
argument.
enjoying arguing with me right now. You're enjoying it.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to correct you.
Oh.
There's a difference.
Okay, but you are enjoying it. You don't deny that.
Yeah, he's a little hard. It's a little bricked up. It's okay. You're a little hard.
Right.
You're a little turned on. You're a little roused. It's all right.
So let me ask you this: if you found out, like, just say you, just hypothetically, there's all of a sudden blood gushing out of your cock.
God.
Who's mine or Steven's?
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Would you blood gushing out of your cock?
Would you assume right away that you got cock cancer, or would you actually go to a doctor and try to get some answers?
Well, no, me personally, I have kidney issues, so I would definitely go to the doctor and be like, "Yo, what's going on?" But
yeah, I'd go to the doctor right away because
I wouldn't assume cock cancer.
I can't think of any reason for anything red to come out. I mean, unless I did like I had like a tomato paste enema. I can't see red stuff shooting out.
Wouldn't your people do a Kool-Aid enema?
Well, let me. When I first got the dick drill, remember with the Black and Decker story. When I first got that operation, when you get out, they give you these pills to clean your kidneys out, and they're red pills, and they're like got dye in them.
Fuck!
So,
oh my god!
So when you pee, it comes out like just a big like red cherry Kool-Aid, like for hours.
Yeah.
Does it taste like cherry Kool-Aid or no?
Here's the thing. I was like junior high school, and some kid was asking for drugs. I didn't have any drugs, but I had the kidney pills, so I gave him a couple of them. And he went, and we heard him scream. He went into the bathroom, and I heard him screaming. I knew exactly what was going on. He was peeing and seeing a big red stream come out of his cock, and he said, because of the, he thought he was doing down.
I had those. I had just come out of having kidney stones removed, and they gave me pills, right? And then they gave me a shot of painkillers. Well, I forgot that I had taken the pills and I had a catheter in, and I could see the pee bag. And I'm just looking at it, and I felt myself pee, and it just turned bright red. And I was just like, oh, and I'm like hitting the button, screaming for the nurse, and they're like, oh my God. And they forgot they gave it to me. So then they called the doctor. The doctor's like, it's the iodine pills. And they're all like, oh. And I'm like,
that's what I'm wondering. I wonder if there's any iodine or anything in these gummies or something. They're orange, not red. But anyway, so yeah, there were. It's Bloody Mary Mondays, Bloody Mary Sundays, Bloody Mary around here.
Here's the thing, though. If you have blood coming out of your pee, it could be a bladder issue, it could be a urethra issue, it could be a kidney issue, it could be a prostate issue.
It's probably cock cancer, though.
I doubt it's cock cancer.
You doubt it?
Yeah.
Why would you doubt it?
Testicular, maybe, but not cock.
I don't know. Dr. Kane, you think it's cock cancer, right?
He may need an oral exam.
Probably.
Dr. Fenderson, cock cancer?
No.
What do you suggest?
To be honest, I'd suggest you putting it in your mouth and see if you taste the cancer.
Too far away.
Cancer has a distinctive taste and smell that dogs can pick up. You being a mine dog, I would think that you could pick up the distinctive taste and smell of cancer.
See, here's the thing. I never pick up after myself. That's the problem. I don't pick up after myself.
No,
I pick up before myself.
Well, then you may have to get another dog to sniff and smell your cock to see if there's cancer in there.
I understand the sniffing thing, but walking the dog, she's sniffing the ground like this is a good area to pee. Like, what are you smelling? There's a good area to shit, but they have a good idea of the general idea they're going, and then the nose goes right down to the ground. What the hell are they sniffing for? What?
Usually another dog. Usually another dog. They're marking. It's communicating. They're like, it's the equivalent of graffiti. It's the equivalent of graffiti. You're tagging a wall.
Yeah, like when my dog sniffs the ground when we're near certain houses, he won't stop and pee because the dogs there are bigger, and he can smell it, and he's like, "I'm good."
Now, some small dogs have developed this thing where what they do is they actually lift their leg higher so they can pee higher, so they come off as a bigger dog because it's the height of the urine. It's the height. It's how high you can pee that makes them think how big you are.
My dog's a bitch. He's not a small dog. He's like 80 pounds, but like he doesn't lift his leg to pee. He just stands. What he does is he stands around all four and just looks up and just.
Yeah, see, if he wants to come off as a bigger dog, you need to hold his legs up like this and aim it. Just when he's ready to pee, walk behind him, lift his legs, and aim it high for him. And then he'll develop some self-confidence. And he'll be like, I'm peeing where I want. Because the other dogs would be like, whoa, you see how high he got that? He got that like 6 foot.
The thing is he doesn't realize he's half pit bull. He already looks mean. He doesn't need to be bigger.
Or just get a jar and catch it and throw it up like 10, 20 feet. Really make him seem like a big dog.
Just start blessing houses and tops of trees with it.
Yeah, even bears would be scared of him at that point. Dog that can piss like 10, 12 feet.
All right, then.
Name of Lassie, Scooby, and Toto.
All I wanted to know is, do I have cock cancer? That's all I wanted to know.
Go to a doctor. We're not doctors.
No,
Where's John?
I know a doctor.
I don't want,
but he's sleeping right now.
See, if I go to a doctor, that's when they're gonna want. Oh, let's fucking test everything. Let's test everything that could ever happen. Not only do you have cock cancer, you have ass cancer, you have brain cancer, you have tits cancer, you have whatever cancer.
Why didn't you have the reverend pray for your penis as opposed to praying for your car?
I didn't even ask him to pray for the car. First of all, he prayed for the wrong car. I keep talking. I think he was thinking it was the tribute and he was going for the transmission again. It's like, no, that ain't it.
Oh yeah, because he was going for he went for he targeted the transmission, but then he tried to do the whole car, focusing on the transmission because he didn't want it to like leave the transmission, then let's say go into the tires or leave the transmission and stop halfway and go into like the catalytic converter. He wanted it all out.
Why the catalytic converters always smell like shit? This is why do I care?
You're probably looking at the catalytic converter and not the catalytic converter. They're next to each other.
What? Wait, you have a catalytic converter. You're not driving a Cadillac. What's your problem?
Yeah. He's not even black.
You might need a Hyundai converter or
yeah, he's not even black. Why is he driving a Cadillac? Slappity, slappity.
Slappity, slappity.
So, the next thing now, we had the Super Bowl. Now, what's the next thing? What is there?
Daytona 500.
UFL.
No, the Daytona 500.
Maybe March Madness.
Oh, that's true.
March Madness. Yeah, nobody cares about basketball. It's NASCAR season.
No,
March Madness is
even
huge.
over. Nothing really happens until March. This is like sports-wise. This is pretty much the dead zone.
Sports wise, I just said NASCAR starts in February.
Okay.
We're talking about sports though. NASCAR's not a sport.
Yes,
Okay.
NASCAR is not really
Okay,
a sport,
fuck
is it?
stick.
You can't call it a sport when the car's doing all the work. Well, is horse racing a sport? Yeah, but for the horses, not for the jockeys, right? Well, I don't know. It's for the jockey. You got to have a little skill as a jockey. I don't know.
You have
Gotta have a
to.
little
You have to
skill
have
to drive
skill
a
as
car.
a. You have to have skill to do Indy. I mean, to race car driving, but it's just not a sport. It was more like criminal activity that they converted into a
It's way
pastime.
more of
That
a,
is
okay.
true.
It's way more sport than what poker is.
I would agree with that.
I didn't say poker was a sport.
Yeah.
Well, why
who
is it
said
on
poker was a
ESPN?
sport?
Look, I'm
Okay,
why is darts
okay.
on ESPN? Okay, I
Okay,
love darts.
And
I love
if NASCAR
darts,
wasn't a sport, we wouldn't have Michael Jackson involved, Shaquille O'Neal involved.
No, just because there's people with money trying to make money doesn't mean it's a sport. You know, politics is a
How do
sport,
you
but you got people
define a
with.
sport? What
Listen,
define a sport? How would you define a sport?
a physically demanding athletic activity that requires skill and practice as you increase over time.
All right.
And
So-
racing is exactly that. I grew up racing. I raced go-karts for 4 years.
Finish inside me.
Pickleball is a sport. Pickleball.
Demanding.
Pickleball is a sport.
Darts
Pickleball?
is a sports.
Again,
Darts
probably more than
is sport.
How about zone ball? You familiar with zone ball?
Darts would be a sport. Pool is a sport. Bowling is a sport.
How about zone ball?
But-
Look it up. Look it up. Go ahead.
What about
Zone ball.
cornhole? Cornhole is broadcasted now.
See, I see. I have an idea what cornhole is. I don't understand the name.
I understand.
I remember, but no, Beavis going around cornholio. I remember that. I know there's a little piece of wood with holes in it and like hacky sacks you throw it, but that's as much as I know about cornhole.
Cornhole is a sport. Darts is a sport.
I would consider
Even-
NASCAR sport only in the sense that, in my definition of sport, there is someone actively trying to challenge you. You know, actively challenging you to score or to win.
Yeah, it's a competition. It's point racing.
In golf, they take turns. You know, I hit, then you hit. I hit, you hit. Darts, they take turns. I throw, you throw. It's not like I throw, and while you're throwing, I hit your wrist. You know, or poker. You know, it's like I deal, you deal. I deal, you deal. My turn, your turn. It's not like when you go to throw your card, somebody can intercept your card in midair and take it. No, it's
it's also not just the drivers who are the athletes of NASCAR. Because yes, they're driving the cars, they're taking the heat, they're actively racing, but you also have your pit crews. Your pit crews are also physically active.
That's like cheerleaders. You know, they're there to fluff. They're there to fluff.
There's videos of NFL guys that go to these NASCAR places where they try to be a pit crew member.
Well, they're untrained. Okay, they're untrained. That would be like taking
even the guys that spend the day at Hendrick Motorsports.
It's training. Those guys are
obviously
trained.
thinks it's easy just to tighten your nuts in 6 seconds.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying it doesn't take skill. That's a skill.
Those guys can change 4 tires, fuel a car.
Go ahead, tighten your nuts. Let's see how quick you do it.
Done.
Let me put the alarm on. Go ahead.
My nuts aren't loose.
Go. Tighten your nuts. See? I'm sorry. This is the way to end a conversation. Is bring up your nuts. Bring up how loose your nuts are and how tight they should be.
That ends most conversations.
What conversations? What does what? I can't remember. Steven, did you look up zone ball? You were too excited to look up zone ball. Look up zone ball. Is that a sport? See, here's the thing. It seems like there are people who think they're inventing.
Oh my God!
I know the inventor of zone ball. He's been working on promoting zone ball probably for about 15 years or so. Since he's invented it. It hasn't taken. It cost him a wife and a family. I shouldn't laugh about this. but they're just people are just trying to invent. We don't need no sports. It's like you don't need.
I saw on TikTok a video, and the thing is, I don't know. I can never tell. I'm not gonna say I can never tell. Sometimes it looks like people have staged things to make it look like an event. And there's this one video they're calling it. It's like Russian basketball. I think it's like basketball and wrestling combined. They don't dribble; they run with the ball, and then you can tackle them. But they're trying to shoot it into a basket.
Did you see this?
And the thing is, if you ever watch like 4-year-olds play basketball, that's how they play. They don't dribble; they run with the ball, and somebody else tries to tackle them. And so it's just grown men trying to literally play basketball wrong like toddlers.
I know there's no sign outside the Daytona. I know there's no sign outside the Daytona that says "No blacks allowed," but we thought it was implied. There have been.
There's a black NASCAR driver.
I thought so.
Oh, a black NASCAR driver.
Now, is it more rare for a NASCAR driver to be black or a hockey?
NASCAR is much more rare because first of all, I think there's only what 99 NASCAR drivers, right? Or was it 100? It's a limit.
No, there's 42. There's 42 active cars, that are in the main NASCAR Cup. Yeah. 42 cars.
Yeah, see, and in hockey, you have like 42 people on each team. Or actually, I don't know how many is on each team, but it's probably the roster is probably at least 20. So you could have like one black per team. You just never see them.
In all of NASCAR, I believe there's like 1 or 2 black pit crew guys and 1 black driver so far. Yeah. But now there's 2. But as of the Daytona 500 this year, white people. They hate the fact that his name's Bubba Wallace. Oh, they hate that so much. But as of the Daytona 500, there will be 2 or 3 black car owners.
Would they like Bubba Wallace better if they knew he was the love child of George Wallace, the former racist governor of Georgia?
No, but it was like 3 or 4 years ago that someone put a noose in his garage at Talladega.
It was a rope that somebody was using for something else, and they went, "We don't need that rope anymore. Where are we going to put it? Well, we don't want to throw it out because it's a good rope. Let's put it over here so we can get it."
So it turns out it wasn't a noose, but it's what got him a lot. It's what got him a lot of hate in NASCAR because everyone thought he was playing the race card. It was just a rope that they used to pull down the garage doors for each bay.
Yeah,
no, this isn't right, right? This isn't right.
I'm not even a NASCAR follower, and I knew that. Because black people, we actually have a list of where the actual nooses are and where they've been put up. Okay, that didn't make the list. It was like that guy, what's his name, Smollett, Justin Smollett.
Yeah,
we knew that was a fraud because we have a list. We know what's going down. You know.
Do you get that every month with your box of N-word cards?
I was gonna say, is it like an online tracker, like a news tracker or something?
It's like an app.
Yeah, it's an app. It's an app. Huh. But you have to be in good standing with the black community to get that.
Called hanger.
Lyncher.
Lyncher. Oh. Lynch. It's like lift, but
it's an
yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot like lift, only you're doing it by the neck.
Ron Philip.
You got a heavy brother? Get a Lynch XL.
Ron Filipakowski from Midas Touch, whatever. He just retweeted something, but it's an all tweet from Trump from February 2nd, 2020. Now, because it says, "Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on a great game and a fantastic comeback under immense pressure. You represented the great state of Kansas and, in fact, the entire USA very well. Our country is proud of you." That's right. I remember that now because people were roasting him for not knowing that Kansas City is Kansas City,
Missouri. Yeah.
But it's from 2020. Cause I was thinking, they didn't come back, right? The final score, it was a blowout. The final score.
Yeah, no, they didn't come back. I think the final score was 40-6.
Wow, 40-6.
No, it was 40-22.
Oh no, that's right. They scored a couple more times in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
When I went to bed, it was 40-6.
And that, yeah, they scored. I don't know what the 6 came from. I don't know if it was a 6 and they went for a 2-point conversion, or if it was 2 field goals.
It was 2 field goals at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, but what upset my wife was a tweet about not a tweet, a Facebook thing, because my wife doesn't go on Twitter, not Twitter or TikTok. She doesn't go on either one of those. So it was probably on Facebook, and it was talking about Ivanka and her luxurious outfit or something. How she was, and my wife looks at it and says, "Does that look like a fancy outfit to me? That's just like a white overcoat with a brown belt." And my wife was like, I said, honey, give them their moments. Give them their moments. She said, all the fucking moments are theirs. I said, whoa, honey, do you kiss your husband with that mouth?
You know how you stop that is you put your pecs.
Slappity.
I have Kanye questions, because Kanye's been in the news again, right? First of all, that thing where he had his wife walk naked behind him at the Grammys or wherever that was.
Yeah, I have it in showbiz.
Then he came out
and
said he fucked Ivanka. He fucked Ivanka Trump. That's according to him. Or at least he suggested that he did. He said to somebody, I forget, he said, "Don't worry, I didn't fuck your wife." Jared Kushner, on the other hand. So it sounds like he's saying he fucked Ivanka Trump. Then I was posting some anti-Semitic shit on Twitter, and they were roasting him over that. And then they said he's been posting porn for a couple of days. What's going on with Kanye? Anybody? Is he nuts? I mean,
I got a Kanye. I have a Kanye story in showbiz.
You want to do showbiz?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do the news and then showbiz. Get the news out of the way.
News? Did I not do news? I thought I did news.
You did it at 5. I don't know if you did the 10 o'clock one.
All right. Oh yeah. All right. Let me do news really quick.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed a new offensive in Russia's Kursk region, reporting significant enemy casualties. He also noted the presence of North Korean troops fighting alongside Russian forces.
The Russian Defense Ministry stated that it had repelled the Ukrainian counterattack in Kursk. Meanwhile, Moscow claimed to have captured the mining city of Toretsk in Donetsk, though Ukrainian authorities have not confirmed this. Liam White reporting.
Lebanon has formed its first full-fledged government since 2022, ending a prolonged political deadlock. Prime Minister Nawaf Salam announced the new administration aiming to restore confidence domestically and internationally. Joseph Eckerson reports.
Salam pledged to implement reforms to address Lebanon's ongoing economic crisis and to oversee the reconstruction of areas damaged during the recent conflict with Israel. This development marks a significant step toward political stability in the country.
Hamas militants have released 3 Israeli hostages in frail condition, while Israel has freed nearly 200 Palestinian prisoners as part of a Gaza ceasefire agreement. The hostages' severe malnutrition has sparked outrage in Israel, increasing pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu regarding the ceasefire's future.
The ceasefire's initial phase includes releasing 33 hostages and nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners, along with boosting humanitarian aid to Gaza. Upcoming negotiations are expected to be more complex, focusing on further hostage releases and potentially establishing a lasting ceasefire. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Lasers are being used to aid in the search for debris following a fatal collision between a passenger plane and an Army helicopter near Washington, D.C. A plane equipped with laser technology is scanning the bottom of the Potomac River to locate smaller pieces of wreckage.
Large parts of the wreckage have already been recovered, including the remains of the 67 victims. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the cause of the collision, which is the deadliest U.S. aviation accident since 2001. Kevin Sanders reporting.
The Trump administration has announced the eviction of several prominent news organizations from their workspaces at the Pentagon. Outlets such as CNN and the Washington Post are being replaced by others perceived as more favorable to the administration, Lawrence Keller reports.
The Pentagon Press Association has criticized the decision, calling it unreasonable and expressing disappointment that offers to accommodate all outlets were ignored.
A small commuter plane that crashed in Alaska was found and has resulted in the deaths of 10 individuals, Kyle Norris reports.
The wreckage was located approximately 30 miles southeast of Nome after an extensive search involving multiple agencies. Recovery efforts are underway ahead of anticipated severe weather conditions, and the National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the cause of the crash.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
That was a different kind of Well, there was something I wanted to comment on there, and now I forgot in the news. It was just, this is not important, I guess. I guess. I forgot. All right. We have no guests here.
Yeah.
Because two strikes. Two strikes for him.
The Seed Guy. And I'd written such a nice thing on Facebook to try to get people to watch to see him.
Yeah. Lindsay got in touch with me last night, and she's like, I shouldn't even ask. You know, this is a passive aggressive way of asking if she could reschedule him even after a second one. I probably shouldn't even ask if we should try again. I was like, yeah, why not? You know what? I don't care. I don't care if nobody shows up. I won't show up, and we'll still leave it streaming so people can watch nothing and try to figure out what's going on over there. What's going on over there? I don't know. I asked you guys in a text message, and none of you got back to me. Ever hear of a porn star or adult film star, a adult entertainer named Pepper? No, you know her or know of her? She booked. When is she booked?
When did you ask that?
I saw that this morning when I was going through the.
Oh, I see it right there.
It was like Thursday or something. Where's Pepper?
Oh, it was Friday. It was after you sent. It was right before you sent the podcastathon info.
The 21st, which is next Friday. I don't know. I felt like it might have been associated with Vic because
Vagina.
I mean I asked for porn stars, and then later that day when I don't know, but I never heard. The last one I really know of.
Pepper?
Marilyn Chambers, Seika. I mean, this is how old I am.
Is it just
Hey,
Pepper?
Ron,
I'm sorry, what, Ron?
Is her name just Pepper?
Next Friday.
Next Friday? Yeah, but Ron says is her name just Pepper?
Pepper.
Does she have is there like another name too?
I think I said I included in there like the spicy.
Is her last name Corn? You know, like
Spicy Rectum.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pepper Spice.
I could try to find a picture of her and
Pepper Potts.
I don't know. So
Boy,
she's not like she's not. If she obviously if she was one of the bigger ones, we would have found her already, right? See, I don't know.
Because I wouldn't know where to look.
Do you know? It's because back in the day there were Linda Lovelace, Marilyn Chambers, Seika. There were names. They had names. Even the guys like Johnny. So
I googled Pepper porn star, and I didn't get just Pepper. There's like Pepper Heart, Jeannie Pepper.
Pepper.
That's what
Jeannie Pepper.
Jeannie Pepper. Does she have like braids and stuff?
I'm going to the video now. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a black chick. Oh, this is from like the 90s.
Give me. But
my wife showed me a post on Facebook or something, and it was a picture of Barbara Eaton, and it says, "You have one wish." And I said to my wife, "I'm not falling for that."
Wasn't that?
This is a black lady, but this is from like the 90s, and she doesn't have braids or anything.
No, she's not from the 90s.
Or in her 90s.
No, I mean no. She looks like in her 20s in these videos, but these videos are like from the 80s and 90s.
I think you and Ron need to have a long, deep French kiss to clear up your microphone issues.
What issues am I having?
Yours is very directional. It's not like Ron's where he's having.
Yeah. Well, my mic has two settings. It has cardioid, which is
cardioid. Oh, I'm having a cardioid microphone.
And then there's omnidirectional. Does that sound better or no?
Omnidirectional is what you want because.
Okay.
Yes.
Better. Okay.
That's my You like my
showbiz?
Oh, that's what I want to know. Do you know like there were porn stars that were famous back in the 70s and 80s. Are there like there's nobody who's like
Debbie because she did Dallas.
So I think the last real famous one that I think got close to being like a household name, I guess, for a porn star was Mia Khalifa.
not Stormy Daniels. No, Stormy Daniels is not all that.
It wasn't really the porn that she was famous for. It was the fucking Trump that she was famous for, right?
Well,
that really got her
that's
name
how
out there.
Trump knew her because she was
Okay, sure, but I mean, I guess I didn't know her name, I guess, but yeah, but I mean, like as far as like,
well, that just shows you how
mainstream?
into porn Trump is that he knows the stars by name.
True,
But also, it's not. I don't think he knew them by name. Remember, they met at a golf. They used to have the company that she worked for, or the film company that she worked for. They used to sponsor golf tournaments, and so they would have different porn stars at different holes to greet the people who were in the tournament.
Well,
Mia
Khalifa was famous because she was doing porn in a hijab, dressed up like a Muslim woman, and then getting fucked on camera. And she was getting death threats, I think, by ISIS.
Wow.
I think maybe.
How would they know what it looked like if she was wearing that?
Now I'm really confused.
Her face wasn't covered. It was just she had the hijab on, but you could see her face, and then obviously everything else.
It looks like our guest is here, which is really confusing because he might not know this, and I'm happy to have him here. But I would have had the book ready. I would have had the links ready because Lindsay contacted me late last night and said he would not be here, but he's here. So let's talk to him now. And we'll, you know what? I'll put the links in the description, obviously already, but the book and stuff I will put in as after the fact for the. What is this? I'm trying to get the right layout here. It's never easy. Why is it never easy? Can you tell me?
It wasn't designed for 5.
I'm looking for. Where is the 5 for 5?
Right there.
I don't know.
There is a 5 for 5.
Yeah, right there. You got it.
That's 6.
No, this is 5.
Oh, this is good. If you put another person up, it'll be perfect.
All right.
This is what we use, man.
I'm sorry. You know what? One of you guys ought to call me up to make sure I'm sleeping.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm sorry. Let's get it right. Ken Peters, PhD, is an international economist or economist who has lived and worked for over 30 years assisting foreign governments with healthcare policies in Europe, South America, Africa, and Asia. He founded a NASDAQ bioteching company specializing in emergency nation pandemic and endemic diseases. His book is called The Seed Sanctuary, and he's here now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Ken Peters. Good morning, Dr. Peters. Now, I'm glad to have you here, but Lindsay told me you were not going to be here.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
I had a very rough night last night, but
So, yeah.
Good to be here.
I had a rough night too, and you know, I talked a little bit, made a little bit of fun of it. Like, who lets cancer slow them down? I understand you're battling cancer, and good luck with that. Been through, you know, everybody in my life has gotten cancer at one point. I say it like it's a funny thing, but it's, you know what, good for you. I appreciate you battling through it and being here. So now tell me about the book, the Seed Sanctuary. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
That's okay. I'm happy to give you the quick back of the cover synopsis. Look, this is my my 5th book. I lived around the world for 30 years. During the 30 years, my first assignments were mostly emerging markets. I don't think it's appropriate anymore that people use the term third world, but nevertheless, I was a professor at the University of Arizona for 1 year after I finished my PhD, and I really, at first I thought, well, this would be very cool. Now, I'm a child of Woodstock, and I thought, well, this would be very cool. Smoke pots, wear patches on your sleeves, and have a very relaxed life. Then I realized he made no money at it, and I met somebody who was in the corporate world, and he had told me about his job, and I said, "Wow, that's what I'd like to do." Excuse me, I'm just sort of. Thank goodness that I got a call from the hospital about some call this Wednesday afternoon. So they sort of woke me up and jolted me into life here this morning. And I went into the corporate world. I worked domestically for Abbott Laboratories when they were a burgeoning new division. And I went from there to Pfizer Diagnostics. And from there, I started my own company. I was looking at, as an economist, I was looking at the fact that most of the big corporations, all transactions take place from a standpoint of strictly cash American dollars. And there are a lot of neglected countries having spent this 10 years in, again, we'll refer to them as emerging markets. And I can see that they lacked continuous electricity. It's always an issue for them. They lacked education to be able to fix these portable little machines for ascertaining positive or negative information on HIV, and the third thing they lacked was that they didn't have anything that would allow doctors to be able to travel throughout Africa with something that was
Doctors Without Borders.
basically something you carried in your pocket. So I came out with excuse me. I went to a bunch of you may be familiar, you may not be familiar. In every association, there's always groups that get together. When I was with Abbott, every 10 years they would have, not each year, over my 10 years, they would have these Abbott alumni groups. Pfizer had the same thing. And I said, all of the medicine that's provided by the West is not addressed by the poor countries of the world. So I decided to I went to some scientists that I knew who were, they all thought they were brilliant businessmen, but they were great scientists. And I approached many of them and I said, look, I have this idea for developing rapid point of care tests. And we could have these. I'm sorry if I apologize, like I'm slurring. I just woke up an hour ago. At any rate, I said, all I need is 5 to 10 hours of your time. I will give you shares in this company. We're going to start up. And a lot of them joined in. And we developed the first rapid test. You've all lived through COVID. I assume that I'm probably 20 years older than you are.
No.
And most of you are.
Wow.
And,
no, I think we're old. I mean, me and GD are old.
Okay, I'm 77. What can I say?
You're a youngster.
You're within reach of me. And the guy up on top of me over here, he thinks he's young, but he looks like my grandfather.
Yeah.
Old.
Well, in any event, your COVID test was something that I had. Well, the idea of these nitrocellulose membranes that were able to absorb. Again, as an economist, I didn't know very much about these things, but as I moved higher and higher in the ranks of Abbott and Pfizer, I was often in charge of allocating money. People were coming to me with their projects, etc. And I was able to see that there was a format that was already out there using nitrocellulose membranes which would separate whole blood from cells. I apologize. Let me drink some more coffee.
That's fine.
And I'm going to cut through this real quick to Chase to just say that we were actually the pioneers out there in the late 80s and early 90s with these rapid tests. And we had them for HIV, tuberculosis, various types of diseases. And I went public on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange, and I got enough people together, enough money together. I said, the third world does not fit into the first world as far as medical insurance goes. And this is the resolution to their issues. People don't want to go to doctors. And one of the things that you having lived in the culture, you got to see that these people saw hospitals as a place where you went to die. Why? Because they held off on going to hospitals for as late as they possibly could. By the time they got there, it was really beyond recognition of saving their lives, whatever the disease, malaria, tuberculosis. I'm so sorry, guys. Anyway, at the end of the day, I decided to start this company. We started this company. We were in 55 countries around the world. We were very successful because these HIV tests and et cetera could all, be carried in your pocket, room temperature, and you didn't need much training. They were pass-fail tests. You either had it, you didn't have it. And that's pretty much how my corporate career evolved. The Seed Sanctuary, if I may, that's like waking up trying to put it together. The Seed Sanctuary is there's a trilogy. I love the book Stig Larsson. I never, his books, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, if any of you met or read his books, the fabulous trilogy. And I'd written a couple of books before, and big fans of mine had said, Peters, this last book leaves you perfect to open up as trilogy. This was a fan who's a big reader of Danielle Silver, a continuation of the same old milieu. The spy gets called upon by Mossad, etc., etc. In any event, a lot of my books were all written, and the agent in LA who likes me is that he said, Peters, what you offer is raw organic material. I lived in South Africa for 6 years. During the 6 years that I was there, you could see, and believe me, I would not make any statement that apartheid was a fair and just system. But I would make the statement to say that the ANC took over, the African National Congress took over the ANC. I'm sorry. They took over the apartheid government. And they pretty much said, very transactional, very Donald Trump. You do this for me, I do this for you. So we built a factory in South Africa, as well as in Bogota, because we realized that one of the things that would put us a cut ahead of all American, German, Bering and Mannheim, all these other companies, is they had to accept either euros or dollars. Excuse me. If you had to live overseas and saw how banking was done, if you are a supplier and you're buying from anyone outside in the West, you have to pay in dollars. And in paying in dollars, you have to be able to have enough reserve in the bank, which is always an issue for these poor countries because they're importing so much that they were not able to be able to have enough reserve to cover the payments they needed. So I thought to myself, again, as an economist, I thought, well, we could just take this concept and open up factories on those continents, and we'll take whatever currency, whether it's kwaches from Zambia, wouldn't make a difference. At any rate, we became very successful very fast. Part of it was coincided, not coincidental. I saw this, that the internet had changed the world from a standpoint of being able to communicate with people rather than just reading magazines about Johnson & Johnson ads. So we expanded out there. All of my books really came from, I would call them what ifs, okay? The first book, The Seed Sanctuary, I'll get to that in a second, but the first book was called The Cure. And when I was there, we had invested $2.5 million in building a facility there, and we employed 80 people. Not hundreds of people, but considering the situation with employment and the desperation, and as an economist, you think about M1 and M2 money, that if people have money to buy, they're earning a salary, they're able to buy, and buy just grows the GDP. And so we opened up these factories there, and they would not do a stick of business with us, the ANC, African National Congress. Mandela was a great man, but he was in jail for 28 years, 27 years. He came out an old man. He did all he could. The guy who followed him in Becky, the person he had in charge of Ministry of Health was that potatoes would cure AIDS. It was beyond, and this is a guy that has a PhD from the London School of Economics. But whatever it was, it was. And so we could not do business with the government unless they had 51% of the subsidiary.
Wow.
And excuse me. And I bought a house down there, Cape Town, beautiful place. I don't know what it's like now. It's talking 14 years ago, but $150,000 on Table Bay, the back of Table Bay.
Nice.
You step on your second floor, you can see over the sand dunes into Table Bay. Quite beautiful. So at any rate, while I was living in when I first arrived in South Africa, I could see the anger on behalf of the few whites that were left. 15%, I think, of the population was white, and everything was taken away from them. And again, unless you gave them 51% of your subsidiary, no business, period, no business. So that was my first book, The Cure, and that I saw all of my books are what ifs. You know, I grew up, I didn't come from a wealthy family. My father dropped out of high school when he was 16. They owned a butcher shop. He was strictly labor. The more kids, the more labor you had. Anyway, so he dropped out, and I didn't get much of a push in any direction whatsoever to read. And it wasn't until, and I have this in a synopsis for another interview I'm going to have, that in that time that I was traveling, my first assignments, emerging markets, it was not unusual to be getting ready to leave for your flight and your plane's nose wheel hit a pothole, and that was it. You had to wait 2 days for another plane to come in, you know, in Paramaribo in Suriname or wherever you were in South America or Africa. And anyway, so you there was not much to do. There was not. CNN came out in 1980 in the U.S. and of course it wasn't international. And I started reading, and I found such love in reading because I had this empty space in time. I started reading, love them and Follett, and I loved Michener because he was really someone who could add flavor in terms of culture. I think this is what Anthony Morrow loves so much about my stories, that they're in their I'm sorry, man. Maybe this just did it. He added flavor, and I found that to be able to have lived in a culture and to really understand what was going on, you could understand what was going on in Africa. They were an oppressed people for so many years, and now they had freedom. And of course, what usually happens is the people at the top and the leaders of the party, they take over immediately, and they get very wealthy, et cetera, et cetera. So I had, because I spent my life again as an economist, but because I was at a higher level, that I had to dole out money when someone would, we believe this will work, this will work. Yeah, and I would have to say to the PhDs, well, I think you're gonna have to give you a little more shit on this because I didn't grasp it, and they ended up giving me enough that I understood what was possible and what was not possible. And in this situation there, I thought, what if? And by the way, I spent a few days with Fauci and a guy by the name of Richard Besser, who is also a famous guy.
Wow.
In the HIV vaccine concept, which never came to pass, although they've come up with amazing drugs. But we had lots of conversations in this guest house that was in Johannesburg. And again, these types of background flavors kind of made me see the what if. So I thought, well, let's face it, one of the things you learn when you live in a place like Africa is that it was developed by the European whites. And in developing it, they lost it all.
I would think if I was in Africa, my first thought would be, what if I get eaten by a lion?
I'm sorry?
If I were in Africa, my first thought would be, what if?
Yeah.
What if I get eaten by a lion?
The point that you said that the Europeans developed Africa, are you familiar with John Perkins' work, Confessions of an Economic Hitman?
Yes, great book.
Okay, so because when I'm placed in the context of that book, I don't see the Europeans as developing Africa. I see them as raping the continent. They don't.
Yes.
They didn't develop it.
100%. But they felt, it's this ownership. They did rape Africa, minerals, everything. They raped Africa. It was, like cherries to pick off the tree. No question about that.
The thing is, when you pick cherries off a tree, chances are you're going to use those seeds and try to grow more. So there's propagation. That's not what they did in Africa. There was no propagation. It was all theft. It was like, you can't develop your own. We will take your raw minerals, and you cannot develop your own product.
Well, listen, forgive me for just saying that this was my exposure, my experience. That's all.
I understand. It's just that it's just a term that the Europeans developed Africa. I mean, it kind of rubs me the wrong way, and it's hard to rub me the wrong way.
No,
as long as you're rubbing me, I'm happy. But
I hear you.
The fact that
I'm just saying that the empirical facts of what exists in Africa are such that we could not do business with the government, no matter what kind of investment we were making in the government or the employees we hired, unless they got 51% of the.
Yeah, that was in South Africa,
that was in South Africa. That was also the same thing in Ghana, Uganda, and Kenya, and Zimbabwe. You couldn't penetrate until Mugabe was gone. But I digress to say, and I do hear your point, absolutely. But I'm just saying,
believe me, I am not condoning.
No.
I'm not condoning that the leaderships of these countries aren't transactional, and most of them are have their own self-interest. I think that's deplorable as well. Some of it's just bad behavior. They learn. Some of it's overcompensation. Some of it's like they're getting rich. We want to get rich too.
Absolutely, yeah. Namaste. There's no question about that. But at any rate, as the what if went on, I thought, what if they developed the vaccine, and what if it was announced through the WHO that they've got this vaccine, and what if some of these greedy Europeans who may have raped the we can denote all sorts of words. Whatever it was, they went into that continent and they colonized, and they took quite a bit for themselves.
Right.
All I'm saying is they decided we want it back. We built the infrastructure. We built everything. So at the end of the day, in this book, the first book, The Cure, they hire a team of guys to break into where the vaccine is in Durban, and I want to cut this short so I can get to the seed sanctuary. But they ended up trying to contaminate the vaccine, and the people they were hired thought that there was just commercial espionage. We want to be the second on the lot to be able to have this vaccine available. In any event, they created quite a good book because it was what if, and of course the vaccine failed because it was meant to do that. It was not meant to secure people, but rather to harm people. And this was the elite old colonial families of Europe that wanted what they had once raped and taken for themselves back. Just that simple. As a matter of fact, today, I can't digress too much. I want to move on to my other books, but the fact that in each book you see a scenario where what if created the ability to having lived there and seeing what if this took place. So anyway, The Cure, in the end, they're trying to announce to the world that.
So it's the goal. Would the goal of contaminating a vaccine be depopulation? I mean,
it's a depopulation, and the seed sanctuary sort of stays in that theme. Anyway, the second book I wrote was called Cuba's Nuclear Pinata. If you think about the technology that exists today.
And that one was set in what, 92? That one was set like 1992?
Yeah, 1982, 83. Yeah, about that.
I thought that was what. Okay, never mind. I was thinking of one with Clinton doing the one that's supposed
to take yes. You're not off on that at all, because what I saw was Abbott was selling some machines there that they wanted destroyed, but I knew that they had great value in poorer countries, and so we ended up shipping them through Canada, shipping them back down to Cuba that way, and giving them a much better deal financially of what they could afford. And while I was there, I realized to myself, wow, isn't it? What if? What if when the 36 nuclear weapons went back in 62, what if there was we didn't have intense methods of determining that a pile of 36 missiles going back were all self-contained, that nothing was removed from them. And in the story that there's 6 missiles that have moved out. And so when Khrushchev took it back, we didn't have the technology we have today. And 6 were empty. And now Clinton has ascended to power. He's giving money to all countries that are democratizing and giving up their nuclear weapons. Ukraine, a perfect example. And at this point,
okay, just since you mentioned Ukraine, though, since that worked out so well, they took money, gave up their nuclear weapons, and so now Russia, because Russia would not have dared to invade them if Ukraine still had nuclear weapons.
100%, 100%. And at any rate, that's sort of the background story to say that their benefactor was bankrupt, and they were not going to convert from communism to democracy. And again, keeping with the theme of what I write about, biotechnology, that which a lot of this is factual, that the U.S. says, well, what we will do for you is we will create super crops that will allow you to. One of the problems we get with the fruit that shows up in our stands today is it's bruised, it's not fresh, and this is all feasible. This is not fantasy. That you would be able to genetically alter various fruits, tomatoes, strawberries. Well, when they picked off the vine, the genetic code that's been inserted into this vegetable would be able to go into sort of a suspended animation for simplicity. And after 12 days, the clock would come back on. So Castro would have a advantage over other Latin American countries in shipping their exports out, and could be a leader. And we were able to demonstrate that they would make money on this. Wow. And they Castro went along with this. Meantime,
since you have a background, because of your background, with the way the U.S. aid is being decimated. Do you think that part of the reason that the U.S. aid can be decimated like that is because people don't know what it does? People don't know what the U.S. aid does, and so
I'm sorry to say to you that when we arrived back in the States after our first 3-year assignment, before we went out again, my kids said to me, he said, "Poppy," he said, "people that live outside of America, they have no idea what's going on in the world. America is a huge clandestine operation. It happens to be, which this isn't public knowledge, that that a lot of the money that's paying for those, I'm not sure if it's the Kurds, who it is, containing Al Qaeda, is coming from USAID. This whole Doge thing is devastating. I don't know what's going to be with. Will we have the guidelines and the institutions to be able to keep Trump from just becoming his dictator? It's frightening. But in the meantime, the U.S. decides to make an invasion to try and get back those. They have somebody that, as a Cuban, that had a rendition, and they figured
the whole
out
thing with the Doge thing.
What's that?
With the Doge thing, if Elon was really concerned about eliminating waste and being more efficient economically, he would have hired accountants, not computer programmers and hackers.
Yeah, no, Elon is a seize to power. That's all.
that the USD, and I could be wrong about this, but it's Musk's thing is about himself and about money. So, for example, when he went after the FAA, it was because the FAA was investigating him for the way he ran SpaceX, and some of their things that they did actually shut down air traffic for several days. So he was investigated by the FAA. So now that they got rid of the FAA, well, actually, the FAA guy resigned. He resigned because he knew what was coming. The same with USAID. They were investigating Musk as well, and so we decimate them so that they cannot be effective in investigating him. So a lot of this is just Musk trying to protect his own ass.
Well,
and get his hands on data.
Absolutely. And what's worse about Musk, putting him aside, is that what Obama tried to say to the rest of the world, unfortunately, Obama was trying to bring America back from the precipice. I mean, 2008, the world went completely upside down. Chicken Little, the sky had fallen. The issue is that if there's a vacuum, China will fill it.
Yes.
And if we're going to pull out, I lecture at the school. I lecture at the International School of Public Affairs, International Public Affairs, and I talk all the time about how the railroad from Kampala to Mombasa, where the docks are, and taking the sequence of how things work, boats had to sit out in the harbor because they didn't have enough there to be able to have boats come in and load and offload, and obviously very important to their income, their GDP. But in the meantime, they built this railroad. I don't know what the details are that exchange, but I can say for sure that it wasn't for free. And
trying to rip them off.
Yeah, the railroad is 45 minutes versus 16 hours.
Right.
You can look at what's going on in the DRC and other places, Malawi, where China is coming in. And America, this is what Obama tried to get across. And this is where this Doge, these morons, and Trump's a moron, but I hope I didn't step out of line on that.
No, we love that. Keep that coming. I watched an op-ed piece, and don't ask me to name the economists who were talking, but they were saying that the goal of people like Musk and Peter Thiel and these people are to put an end to democracy and create governments that are more corporate, run like a corporation with a CEO in charge, and there is no balance of power. That is the ultimate goal.
Prime example, Louis DeJoy with the post office. Prime example, just the edge of the beginning. At any rate, they break in. They have a night raid. The way the book goes, the Cuba book. They get out those warheads, and there's a race against time. The hero and the heroine, when they get back to Miami to try and find out where this book is, where the bomb is.
Do you have one of these like stud protagonists who's like the Jack Ryan type in the book?
No, that will exist in the next book. After the third book, a friend of mine who is a dear friend and really believed in me. When I wrote the first book, which I thought was horrible, I had no skills, hadn't done much on writing. I was traveling so much, reading so much. I said, I could write this dribble. I'm living there. Nothing big here. These are novels, but give them real flavor with them. That's a part of a reality. That would be more important. Anyway, the next book that I wrote, The Hodge Intercept. And in the
Is that the one with David and Saul? I think those two.
Yeah. Who's speaking?
Oh, up here.
Okay, thanks. And David and Saul. I give you. They come out of the concentration camp. The first chapter, and they pretty much see each other as dear friends. They have a good time. I take them through high school and things that we all have experienced on a lighter level. You can't be too exposed. And they have to serve their conscription in 3 years, and they decide to join the Mossad. And at that point, I've allowed a chasm to continue with the observant family, Saul, Rebecca and his 7 kids, and whereas David was a secular family, 2 kids, and I allowed that to continue. As the story goes on, Israel is a place where Israel needs to have. Saul was, no, this was promised to us by Hashem, by God, and that's where it is. So I allowed that to continue. And as the book goes further, there's an assignment, and it happens to be I spend time giving you Saul's background. That he's number one, appearance-wise, he's very Semitic, and they use him to go in and steal this virus, which is, I made it up. I knew about the Marburg virus, but I decided, well, what if someone would make something a little bit more deadly that would be more in an aerosol form? I give the background history of, that Assad gassed all these people, etc. Anyway, he goes on the mission. He steals it. When he comes back, the short and the long is, he one day when he's at work, a rocket from the PLO lands on his house. It kills his wife and his kids. And I built this very, very serious, devout family, and he's now thrown God to the wind, and he steals the virus, and he's going to detonate it during the Hajj. That's why it's the Hajj intercept. And I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Getting myself together. So at any rate, he steals the virus. He goes there, and now it becomes the hunter and the hunted.
But he's hunted by his best friend, his former childhood friend.
Right. So David has got to stop him one way or the other. And it's interesting because when I was writing that book, I said, Peters, this is so fucking linear. Anyone can tell you where this is going at the end. And I happened to be at the gym that day, this before. I was diagnosed with the cancer last April. But pretty much in good physical shape. And I came up with this idea so I could make a right turn. And the readers would have something special that would show them not where they expected to be, but where they totally had forgotten. And I used something earlier back in the book on that. Wow. Anyway, he ends up going there. And if you've read the book, if not, David has to kill Saul. And David in the Hajj has developed this relationship with this girl, an American, who's back and forth with the biotech consortium. And he ends up marrying her. And she's telling him, classic. They're at the wedding and he's crying about his best friend dying and etc. And she says, I have something to tell you. We got a baby on the way. They named the baby Solomon S. So now the seed sanctuary comes along. And I was so insulted. I didn't even know what to say to this interview I had, I guess a week ago. She had the whole thing ass backwards. I said, no. This tri-consortium develops these seeds. These seeds have a 4-fold yield. And with this 4-fold yield, they will be able to show. Listen, one of the things I saw living around the world, I lived in Europe, I lived in China, I lived in Africa. I was 12 years in Latin America, my longest stay anywhere. And I saw that no matter who we are, when I was in South Africa, someone said, Kem, why are you going back to America? Why don't you stay here? I said, you know what? I'm 63 years old. I'm an American. It's where I belong. I said, were I 35, I might have met somebody, had kids, and I could have become a South African. But I didn't. I said, in the meantime, I'm going home. And I think for most of us, if you spent any time outside, tourists, you go about this, that, but there are things that are truly American. And it's sad to say that with Donald Trump, it's it's all falling apart.
Wow. Yeah. No, I think it's lost.
Yeah,
It's
but
Paradise Lost.
I have to say that the European fascists are very. And then, listen, I remember when our business had started, I was shocked that the fact that the EU and the euro was going to work. I mean, as an economist, I'm saying, wait. These are the French, these are the Belgians, these are the Greeks, these are the Italians. They're their own culture. They're not going to integrate. They did. I guess the cooler heads prevailed in terms of the economics of the benefit of being a large trading partner. At any rate, in this book, The Seed Sanctuary, this woman said to me, I said, no. You have this all backwards. Thank goodness we're talking. No, the seeds are developed. All the people that are in Europe, certainly a large percentage, would like to go home if there were arable lands, if they could go back to farming, if the world would work for them as it once was. They would like to be home. It's their homeland. Trying to accelerate this part. They decide that the seeds are announced by the WHO. It's fantastic. Everyone's very excited, and they hire a team. These guys contaminate the seeds, and in contaminating the seeds, the goal is that the EU liberals who are doing battle with, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, you obviously well read about what's going on with Europe, that they convince them that they'll give them whatever dollar, I forget the money I used, but they'll give them €1 million and they go back home and this and that, and this would resolve big parts of their immigration problem. And they go back, and the seeds fail the next year. Now they want to come back. They can't come back because the liberals have run out of money because all the money was spent by the ECB, and the fascists, who are slowly growing over time, are now able to say, no, there's no more money. They've got to stay there. That's it. Wow. So the idea is that these fascist people, not politicians, but political parties like PACs underneath are the ones that are pushing this whole thing. And then the seed sanctuary, I mean, my God, there's so little to say about, and this person, I spoke to the other day, she asked me about climate change. I said, where did you say you live? She said, LA. I said, and you're asking me about climate change? I said, I didn't want to insult her. I wanted the 350-word piece, but I'm thinking, my God, who are these people get hired to do these stories? Anyway, so at the end of the day, the Seed Sanctuary, there's a rescue of the situation. The seeds are identified. They shout out to the world. Don't let these seeds go, and don't let this thing go forward. The guys in that book, The Seed Sanctuary, are David, who's now older by 30 years, and his wife now happens to be a biotech. She was working for Teva. She was part of the discovery, and she ended up being part of this whole concept of repatriation. And those that stayed in Europe would stay, and many would go back if they could go back. So the third book is called The Red Sea Rendition. And I jumped ahead of myself before to say that I loved Stig Larsson's The Dragon Tattoo trilogy. And I said, no, I'll finish this off as a trilogy, and then I'll go back to something, something more real that I find is more organic. Anyway, so in the Red Sea rendition, Israel is obviously the pariah of the world. No question. We all know that. Bibi Netanyahu is an evildoer. he's just I can't even imagine what's going to go on between him and Trump.
So yeah, authorkenpeters.com. People go there and you'll find out about all three of the books. Now,
Are we running out of time?
Yeah, we're out of time.
Okay.
Bottom line here, we're doomed, right? That's basically the bottom line. Your overall worldview is we're doomed.
Yeah, all of my books are written, as the literary agent would say, with real organics with it, because I lived there and I was able to visualize as a resident living there to see what it was like and incorporate the culture and say, what if?
What if? Yeah, I want to explore that. What if somehow? What if we're doomed? But I appreciate you being on the program. Book now. The Seed Sanctuary is out now, right? That's the one that's out now. That's the current book. Yes.
Yeah, the Seed Sanctuary is out right now. I'm holding off on the releasing the manuscript for the Red Sea rendition. And in a quick summary, if you're not aware, all the rivers are drying up, all the wells are drying up. There are 6 countries that surround the Red Sea, and there's a new political party that takes over, and they come to the conclusion the one way they would be able to move themselves from being the pariah of the world to being the savior of the world would be to develop this giant desalinization plant. I talk about Israel's competence in technology, and that whether it's Djibouti, Somalia, Sudan, Jordan, any one of those will all benefit. And so there's an alliance that gets formed with the Israelis and these countries to have saved them. So this will, I take you further into it about who's going to run the Gaza, this and that. Hopefully Trump won't get to turn it into his dream world.
Wow. I hope it's not a real thing in my view. I think we're lost. But you know what? Thanks for being here. You know what? Generally, I'm the worst pessimist on the program, but I think before you came on, we should have added put away your razor blades to the whole disclaimer here for this conversation.
I had this new drug I'm taking. It left me with some herpes. And I was afraid. I was afraid to shave.
Did you give it to us?
What's that?
You was afraid you'd give it to us?
No. But I didn't want to try and go near a razor to that. So, I was fearful of that. Anyway, it was a pleasure to meet you guys. I'm sorry that the timing was so bad.
No worries. Please do continue to deal with and survive this thing that you've been dealing with, and best of luck with all that. And we hope people will do go to the website and check out the books. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye. Dr. Ken Peters, folks. You know what? That's for a day when I'm tired. Is this right? This isn't right. For a day when I'm tired, that's a beautiful thing. I ask one question, and 45 minutes later, I come back. How was lunch? But it's a good to meet somebody who's more full of pessimism than I am. I mean, didn't sound like there's a whole lot of hope. Did you take away any hope from that conversation?
Well, it's not that he didn't have hope. It's just that his voice didn't just. It was kind of, slowing down.
Yeah. So aren't we all?
Because all of his books, like he said, all of his books are what ifs.
What if? Well, this is what if.
And he also did the what if. When his what ifs, he always did like the worst scenario what ifs. So he'd go like, "Yeah, they come up with a cure." But what if somebody stole the cure and fucked it up so it didn't work?
Right. He said, what if the cure is actually worse than the disease?
So he always so he just.
Well, my what if cures everything. What if we're doomed?
And we die.
Why bother trying if we're doomed? let's just call it a day, folks. Everybody punch out.
Yeah, my what if is
I'm working overtime.
Are you?
What if Sotomayor can last another 4 years?
Well, Steven, you're working overtime, but what if there's no money to pay for the overtime? What if you're working extra and you're gonna get paid the same thing anyway? What if?
Oh, listen, we're gonna have to talk about my regular check anyway, because that's not getting paid either. So
what if?
And there's no tax on tips.
Your audio sounds fantastic, Ron.
I know.
Right. What happened there?
It's the system. Hey, do you want to do showbiz?
Sure, I want to do showbiz. Right after we figure out the economy of economists, economist.
Economist all over my face.
I was hoping that he was going to spit on his camera, like during his calls. Like,
I was just worried he was going to kill over on camera, and we wouldn't be able to monetize this episode.
Well, let me just say before we hit the showbiz button here, Ian, I think you could see, the guests can see your comments. So when you say like could be homie's last interview, I'd maybe wait till after he's gone.
That's why I tried so hard. That's why I kept disappearing and laughing from all the comments, and then I was getting text messages, and I was just like, I had to bow out and just laugh really hard for a second and come back.
And there is the celebrity death pool, by the way.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showbiz.
I never realized that's a badass baseline that I put in this. Oh, that's Billy Wayne Davis getting a drill through his head.
Hey, it's showbiz, everybody. It is Monday. If you're in the Philadelphia area, you probably have a very wicked hangover right now. So enjoy it, because after those script updates on Saturday, congratulations to the Eagles for winning.
Wow.
Amen.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, let's talk about the halftime. So this is Sam Jackson. He showed up for Kendrick at the halftime show as Uncle Sam, which was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, he did not say motherfucker.
Wow. Did not, and I wish he would have.
Oh,
that would have been worse than the wardrobe malfunction.
I don't know, depending on what part of the game. The other big talk about the Super Bowl halftime is Kendrick's bell bottoms. If this makes bell bottoms come back, we're all definitely doomed. These pants should never come back.
My first thought is like, I have a pair of those pants.
I have a couple pairs of those too. That's fucked up.
Wow.
I used to like bell bottoms until I just saw this thing right now. If he's going to be wearing bell bottoms, then fuck it.
I like his A minor necklace.
Yes. So speaking of A minor, he did perform Not Like Us. He was dropping subtle hints all through the set leading up to it, and it was a very huge cultural moment when everyone in that stadium was going, "A minor."
Yeah.
That was great. I wish there would have been cameras on Drake at home watching the Super Bowl.
Now, why didn't somebody think of that? The Drake cam.
I don't know. They should have. I mean, they
I
should have.
bet somebody did, and Drake was like, "Fuck no."
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm sure either he watched it and was just pacing back in his living room, or did not, and everyone else was telling him, "God damn, you got slammed."
He probably laid back, stroked his giant horse dick, and was like, "Man, this really sucks." That's probably what happened. Matt, you're muted.
I know. I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The other thing about the halftime show, there were a protester or two showed up on the field and waved the Palestinian flag. They have been banned from NFL games for life after that. Woo!
Yeah, it almost looks like
Trump can still go to the games, and he's part of what's going to be the problem in Gaza. But Trump can still go to the games, but a guy waving a flag can't. Okay.
Well, you know what? My only thought is because I'm blind and I couldn't see that it says Suzanne and Gaza on there. It looked like a Sbarro's ad. Sbarro's Pizza. I don't know.
I honestly thought it said when I saw it pop up, I thought it said Ghana. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue with that. It's okay.
Sbarro's Pizza sucks. I'm sorry. If they want to sponsor, their pizzas were great. I just
Yeah, last night the halftime. I mean, they had Serena Williams was dancing on the field during the halftime show, which is another nod to Drake because she dated Drake. So Kendrick went all in.
Did you see the lights in the crowd at the end of the set that said "Game Over"?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute. She dated Drake and she turned me down. What the fuck?
Do you have a giant horse cock?
Oh,
she's the only one that needs to know.
No, well, that's probably why she turned you down. Because if you don't, he already ruined it.
All right. Speaking of the Super Bowl, there were movie trailers. I was out at a bar yesterday watching the game, so I missed a lot of the commercials and stuff because I wasn't really paying attention, honestly, to the commercials because who gives a shit? But so Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning was one of the big trailers that was out there, and it's stuff that we've seen before. Tom Cruise doing crazy stunts. I forget which number this is. This is like 8 or 9. So apparently this is coming out this summer.
Can he just stop dangling from aircraft?
I think this one is called Dead Reckoning because I reckon he'll be dead before another one comes out.
Yeah, he's going to have to die in the movie itself.
What is he? He's like 60, right? Or somewhere around there?
Yeah, he's in his 60.
Just to be able to hang on a bar like that is for a 60-year-old is a
Oh, believe me, he's not falling. Okay.
I know he's tied on there and that's tethered to it. But just to be able to hang on a bar with your arms like that for most 60-year-olds, yeah, I think most 60-year-olds, from what I see, couldn't do that. They just out of shape old geezers.
No, it's a good ad for Scientology. So
it's a Scientology
ad. That's exactly.
Right,
yeah.
Get rid of your thetans and hang from helicopters like Tom Cruise. Give us all your money.
Yeah, because guess what, folks? Jesus never did this, but Tom Cruise did. So come on, J-Man, step up your game.
Jesus walked on water, but Tom Cruise hangs from helicopters. Yeah. Scientology.com.
And speaking of Super Bowl commercials, this is Seal in the Seal commercial. This one's getting a lot of buzz because it was so bizarre, but it worked. It was funny. It's
creepy as shit.
Yeah, my wife did not like this one at all. She goes, "Why?
Yeah, that's what I said too. I was like, "Why is this a thing right now?"
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was for. But
was it for a soft drink? It was like
Mountain Dew. That's right. Yes.
I just imagined Matt sitting back on his bed like an otter, sitting there like, that's funny.
I'm glad your shitty little mic doesn't even work when you're talking shit about
Good.
Me. Oh, fuck.
Are you a retard?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
All right. Matt touched on this a little bit. This is another Kanye tweet fest that happened over the weekend. Apparently, Kanye went after Dave Chappelle, calling Dave Chappelle a tool of the Jewish media, and all the Nazi stuff you could hope for from a black guy. Kanye delivered this weekend, and so now he's going after Chappelle again.
What in Chappelle's rap there would lead you to believe he's working for the Nazi Jews? That's a weird thing. Jews, what the fuck? I mean, there's nothing like. Are the Jews anti-trans? Because that's the only thing. I don't know.
I don't know. And if anything, Chappelle would be the opposite due to the fact that he turned down all the executives at Comedy Central and everything.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So he'd be the opposite. Kanye's fucking broken.
And he's got autism now, apparently.
Well, every fucking buddy has autism.
Do not insult the autistic people like that. Don't you dare.
It's such a fucking. It's like ADD. Everybody has ADD and everybody has autism now.
Yeah, but apparently this is going on, and this is Kanye's latest target. Chappelle's people have not responded in any way.
Chappelle's gonna fucking own Kanye on stage.
Yeah, I don't expect Chappelle to, except Chappelle will answer him on stage. That's where
I was gonna say it'll be like one of his comedy specials or something. He'll do like
he's gonna have a new special all dedicated to shitting on Kanye.
He'll do like a 10-minute shitting on Kanye for 10 minutes.
I'm just this picture, and is this in like an older picture? Because it just seems like Chappelle is like making his entourage wear masks with the C on it, like a COVID mask.
Yeah, this is just some picture I found that was on one of the
But he
stories.
doesn't wear the mask. It seems like because of the C on it. I'm thinking it's my boys. I'll make them wear the Chappelle mask. But I'm not wearing it.
It could just be that his boys wanted to wear a mask, and he's like, "Well, here, wear these. Then these have my logo on them."
Yeah, you're thinking best case scenario, or you're looking giving him a benefit of the doubt type of guy. Good for you. Could be that positive influence on this program, Stephen. You do.
All we know, Chappelle could have been wearing the mask, and then somebody says, "Can we get your picture?" He goes,
"See, you guys are just like really the bright side of the moon type of guys. I appreciate that. Bring your little positive spin to whatever I say. I like it. Keep it up. Keep up the good work."
All right. Speaking of Prince, the Prince doc that we talked about a day or two ago, that's not happening at Netflix. The big bone of contention was there were abuse claims in the documentary. So the Prince estate does not want that out there, and the Prince estate is going to produce their own documentary using some of this stuff.
I think Netflix should release it anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Legally, they probably can't because of footage.
You can't release it, but they could leak it, right?
They could, yeah, they could leak it.
Just have them send it to Ryan Reynolds and let him leak it.
No, who are the people that did the send it to South Korea? Let them think they hacked it, like they hacked Sony, and then they let them leak it.
Yeah, and I'm sure there will be more shit that trickles out about this documentary because now all you're going to have is people wanting to see this documentary instead of the other one because it's like, well, what are you hiding that's so bad?
And also, if they interviewed people who said they were abused, thinking that they thought that their story was going to finally be told in that documentary, and the documentary is not going to come out, then they may get pissed and go, okay, then we're going to, I can talk my story. I'm going to go on the circuits. I'll go on MSNBC, CNN, and what's that other show that's really, really popular that we all watch and like? Rogan.
BBC?
Rogan. Yeah, Rogan. So
not a show. Not a show.
He said BBC and he said, yeah, Rogan. Gay? Anyway, back to you, Ron.
So enjoy the suffering, everybody. This is a picture from Donald Trump at the Super Bowl. I thought you'd want to see it. So.
Somebody waves KFC in front of his mouth, and that's why there's drool on the side. So,
now he needs a Diet Coke to wash it down.
Enjoy the suffering, everybody.
Yeah, I'm not going to enjoy it. I refuse to enjoy the suffering.
Yes, he has Princess Ivanka on a leash next to his.
I have a Kanye questions because Kanye's also been like, I don't know, people. It's hard to kind of just get to the point here. People are saying he needs to be banned from Twitter because he's putting pornography all over the place. I haven't seen any of this stuff, but like, is he like just spamming porn all over social media or something?
Well, on Twitter you can. I mean, there's porn on Twitter.
But Kanye's doing that. That's people saying he's been doing that since Saturday morning. Like
it's who knows? I mean, that guy will do anything for attention. So
it just seems
he'll do anything but the right thing.
Yeah,
it just seems like a weird thing to do. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like Mikey started doing that because there was a time when he would mail everybody TNA pictures like a kid in junior high school. I see titties, except but for somebody in Kanye, like, what does he get out of that by just constantly putting out pornography? I don't see it, and I have once in a while I've seen porn on Twitter, but I know you guys said it was like a problem at some point, and I had never even seen it up until a couple of months
I
ago.
think he's been banned off Twitter.
That's what they would say. They were counting for him, calling on for him to be banned.
Yeah, because he, I just looked him up on Twitter. He's got 33.1 million followers, but something went wrong. He is blocked. He's either closed his account or it's been banned. Yeah.
Wow.
Why? But if he's a Trumper and Musk is a Trumper, why would they ban Elon Musk? I mean, why would they ban Kanye when he's
because of the
starting
pornography,
the same hatred that they do?
Because of the porn. I think that would be the deal breaker there, not the political stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's always free speech unless you're against them, because my account always gets tagged as your account has been labeled. Because
all right. And Facebook with the no fact checking. I've been fact checked a couple of times just on jokes. I get like a fact check notice. Like, I want to say, I thought you were gonna quit fact checking. So let me get this straight. You're really just fact checking any opposition stuff. Anything pro Trump, you won't fact check. But if it's
well, my understanding was that it's not that they. I think people can still report you, and they'll look into that. But they're not going to actively.
We hire community fact checkers. I should find these notes on Facebook that I've got. Like, they look like official letters on metal letterhead, and
letterhead. Isn't it electronic mail?
Letterhead is what's on top of the ID card or whatever that is that they put on digital documents. It's a letterhead, digital letterhead. Yes. But if I could find one of these, but it definitely, it was more than once, and it's just like they pull up the post and say, this is the problem that our fact checkers found with it. It's like, wow, I thought you said no more fact checkers. I guess just for me.
Yeah, they hired them just for you.
Just for me.
Just for you.
Flattered. Oh.
Facebook's coming for you.
Right.
And on you if you're lucky.
All right.
There is not one U.S. state where working 40 hours a week is enough to afford a 2-bedroom apartment.
Well, it depends. If you're a lawyer, you're working 40 hours a week. It doesn't say what the job is. Working 40 hours.
Are they
a week.
saying at minimum wage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, I would probably think you couldn't even working 80 hours a week. It would be difficult to have.
Indiana's minimum wage is still $7.25. You could work 80 hours a week and still have enough to even make a car payment. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and Pennsylvania is the same. It's like $7.25 or whatever.
Well, they are trying to, this was the op-ed that I was listening to last night with this economist guy. The goal is to kind of it's class warfare. They definitely want to eliminate the working class. And to me, that is just, you know what, that means you can want to do the work yourself. I mean, you billionaires, just keep that in mind. You need somebody around to do the work. Don't try to just kill
and to buy shit.
And to buy shit. Yeah. So you can't just kill off the working class. That doesn't make any sense.
I think the goal is to make it so they're struggling so much they don't have time to protest and time to react, time to fight back, that they're just too busy trying to get by. Generally that's what the rich people want. It's not that they want to get rid of them, they want to be able to control them. And the best way to control them is to make them financially unstable so that they can't fight back. But what they forget is that then when they do fight back, it's going to be disastrous for them, because then it's not through voting, it's through violence.
All right.
Fair.
Like Marie Antoinette,
Watch your mouth.
I mean, I'm just saying, they can take away my guns, but I got the right to build the guillotine.
Oh,
you
hear that southern twang right there at the end?
That's right.
You can't do that. That's about, like I said before, that is comforting. That is as comforting as the crackling of a fresh burning cross. You can't use that accent. It's no longer allowed.
It's part of my heritage. It's funny. I have friends of mine I have friends of mine who say, some of my white friends back in the day would say, "You sound just like a white guy until you get angry," and then I hear the black.
You sound mighty white until you get angry, and then you sound all black and stuff.
Yeah, and one guy said, a friend of mine named Rick, I said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He goes, "They're the black."
There's the colored guy I know.
There's that Negro. I hear him. Slappity, 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 slappity,
slappity, slappity.
All right, tomorrow we have a guest on. His name is Mr. Phil Strickland. He has to have the Mr. in there. I believe he's a friend of GD's. Is this true, GD?
And this is also the second time he's tried to get on, because the first time, I'm not going to mention any names, but a certain host kind of got things mixed up and didn't send him the link, sent it to someone else. And I reached out to him and I said, "I thought you were coming on." He goes, "I thought I was too, but I didn't get a link." And
well,
so this is the second time.
As interesting as that story is, don't forget to tune in tonight at 9 p.m. for Beyond.
I'm going to tune in now just to fuck with you. Remember, I'm gonna call in. I'm gonna be like this. Howdy, my name is Zeke Zepperfield. I'm from Alabama, and I used to babysit Stephen back when he was a young boy, and I used to touch him in ways that really affected the way he sees.
Bang, bop.
I used to touch him with my teeth finger.
God damn it. I forgot to hang up the phone.
So, I think we will be taking phone calls if people want to have their, you want to talk to your dead uncle or your dead brother or your dead sister or somebody dead. I think
we're going to open the phone lines a little sooner than what I originally planned, but reading his one pager, he likes the call-ins, so we're gonna allow people to call in and talk to dead people, I guess.
And for the record, Stephen has already indicated that he's going to be mean and ugly to this guy. He's going to say,
"Well, Stephen's already ugly."
Yeah, I just want a little bit of the script. He's got from the teleprompter here. "Listen, you cocksucking fraud, you motherfucker! You're ripping people off with your phony spirit contact. Let's see what you got. Go, dick face."
I mean, more or less.
How did you gave Matt an advance copy of the script, but we didn't get one? What the fuck? I realize he's gonna be. I realize he's gonna be running the boards in the background and stuff, but still, you just left us. Now I know that when you take the phone call, usually when Matt takes the phone call, it fucks with his color and sound when he's done. But since he's not going to be on there, it shouldn't be an issue then, right, Matt?
Yeah,
it shouldn't be an issue.
My biggest thing is I think it's awful to take advantage of people's their pain and their suffering and because some of these guys have been proven that they just look into these people before they talk to them and they Google shit and then they make these people think that they're talking to a dead relative and there's nothing there. You're just paying money for some fraudster.
So basically, we're gonna have fireworks tonight. Steven is gonna be all in this guy's ass, like the guy at
Diddy and Bieber, man.
Yeah. So it should be fun, controversial. I'm glad I won't be showing my face. I'll be hiding in the back, giggling like, "Oh my god, we're in trouble now." That's what I'll be doing. All right, well, thanks for that. That's that. I guess that's what. Did I what?
So that's 9:00 Eastern time.
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, Eastern Standard, not Eastern
Daylight.
Classical.
Not Eastern Daylight Time. Not CPT.
Or
whoa.
Right. All right. Want me to push a button to get out?
Sure. I guess.
I like omelets better than sex.
All right. I like omelet. I like eggs.
My cat was vomiting in the background. My cat was vomiting in the background while Ken Peters was talking.
Well, that could have been.
Now I have to go out there and find where the vomit is. I can hear the.
Let me just tell you, your cat has plenty of time left because Ken Peters is still talking. All right, I won't forget to turn on my radio.
Finish inside me. Finish inside me. That's what I call schlong division.
Have we crossed the line?
I don't think so, no.
Finish inside me.
Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen.